Okay, second tech video, what do we have this time? God. So, does anyone remember this thing? I wish I didn't. The Ouya is, or was, an Android-based microconsole mostly known for being one of the biggest hardware flops in the industry's history and having a completely nonsense name. The thing sold gangbusters in a crowdfunding campaign back in 2012 and released the following year to absolutely no applause despite a full kit being priced at $100. The platform failed miserably, with the only especially noteworthy occurrence in the next half a decade being a buyout by Razer and discontinuation of hardware production in 2015. Razer then tried to shuffle the 4 remaining Ouya users to their own platform, Forge TV, which itself discontinued a year later. Fast forward earlier this year, and anyone with an Ouya account was emailed notice saying that all online services for the console would shut down June 25th, 2019, the console's 6th anniversary. After that point, games may or may not continue working, and all remaining Ouya consoles will be pretty much worthless. Not that that's a big change. I should also note that a sign-in is required to proceed past the first time the console is booted, meaning that any systems that have never been used are probably bricked. Anyway, I happen to have one. Seeing as this video is going up the day the console dies, this seems like the worst possible time to review it, but that's never stopped me before. Let's take a look at the hardware. The console itself is pretty small, with a single power button on top and extremely limited I/O in the back. I have no idea why there isn't a micro SD slot on it, given it's essentially just an Android tablet in a box with no screen, but at least there's a USB port to work with. The controller is substantially worse. The thumbsticks and D-pad suck, the buttons have weirdly large travel time, the triggers are probably the worst I've ever used, and the sneaky touchpad on the front doesn't serve that much of a purpose, but we'll get into that later. The whole thing just feels cheap. Which it was. Wait, how do you charge this thing? I don't see any ports on it. Oh, right. This sure is a sign of quality. I actually don't have any batteries on hand, so I'll be right back.
You know, I really wish that in 2012 or 13 or whatever, batteries existed inside control. The technology just wasn't there yet. No, it just wasn't there yet. Oh boy. Now I'm really glad that I needed to go get batteries right when it started pouring down, and I'm real glad about that. It's really enhancing my Ouya experience. Still trudging through the rain, down $4.79. I don't even get ad revenue, so I'm not gonna profit off this. This sucks. Most annoying $5 I've ever spent. Jeez. Hi dog. How you doing? Okay, you know, I could have used that. I could have used that controller, but I didn't in my unstoppable pursuit of journalism. So, you all better thank me. You can't pay me because I don't have any way for you to pay me, but, you know, be thankful for the things that I do and the ways that I suffer for this terrible, terrible content. This is a really good controller.
One needlessly convoluted connection process later, the controller is working about as well as it's ever going to. I apologize for the 2008 era recording method, but if I ever get a capture card, it's gonna be for something far better than the Ouya. Anyway, let's play some games. The shop is still working, but it's about as close to non-functional as you can get while still technically being up, so we're sticking to what I already had installed. The Ouya was sold on a pitch that every game available would have a demo, but that rule was relaxed later in its run, and as such, some games whose demos I had installed are no longer playable for me, narrowing our selection down further. Most of those were ported elsewhere anyway though, so I don't really care a whole lot. Sky Arena was a dogfighting game I remember being pretty alright, and yeah, it's alright. Plays smoothly and looks decent, but that's probably due to the art style and not the power of the Ouya. Very little content here though, unfortunately. Neon Shadow is a functional, if unexceptional, port of a mobile FPS. It's nothing special, but hey, it at least works, even if it's pretty constrained by mobile technology from when it was made. I'd say it was limited by its source platform, but I mean it's all the same hardware anyway. You're gonna hear me say mobile a lot, because that's what the Ouya is built on, and it really does not let you forget it. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta test something. Nice! I should point out that you've been seeing the edited Ouya experience. In truth, the menu system bricks constantly and is an absolute pain to work with. There are a few pretty neat games released for the Ouya, but those have all been ported elsewhere and the Ouya versions don't actually work that often. I can see no reason to use one in 2019, and the whole thing is so unstable it's a miracle it's lasted this long. That said, there are two things I must admit I like about the Ouya. First, the whole console is open for homebrew out of the box. You can literally just build an APK, upload to the IP the console gives you, and install it remotely. From there you can attempt to run it from the development menu. I'd imagine this was extremely helpful for indie developers at the time, but you'd be hard pressed to get anything to work on it at all, let alone without crashing. It's a good feature, but nowadays there's pretty much no point in using it. Your phone is probably more powerful anyway, and I had to doubt the size of the Ouya homebrewing community in 2019. Second, you can connect just about any Bluetooth controller to this thing, which is a great feature for party games. You probably don't own more than one Ouya controller, but there's a good chance you have some much better PS3 or PS4 controllers lying around, so being able to use those for local multiplayer is pretty great. There's not a catch here, it's just a good feature. And yep, that's it. That's just about all I have to say about the Ouya. On one hand, I feel like this console was a pretty terrible idea, but on the other, I wouldn't say its backers were really deceived at all. They told everyone it was going to be a console running on Android in 2012, and they still supported it, so I'm not sure what they were expecting. What kind of sucks is that there were a handful of Ouya exclusive games that weren't all that bad. Okay, I mean, they were like 5. But still, these games could very easily run on really any Android device, so it's a shame to see them lost to time. As such, I'd like to shout out the Ouya Saviors Project, a group acting to preserve the Ouya's entire library. Now, this gets into something of a legal gray area, since they have to crack the game's DRM systems to ensure they aren't completely lost. In some cases, this may be illegal to do, but it's pretty complicated. That said, I really hate any media being lost forever, so I fully support the effort. They're doing a pretty bang-up job of it too, given their small team and limited time. That's all there really is to say about the Ouya. The thing was a bit of a mess, period. I'll be back soon with your regularly scheduled early 2000 PC gaming junk next time, so stay tuned. It'll be done when it's done. I'll see you then.